I am Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today on a transformational day and for an overdue catch up, Mr. Chris Donaldson and Tom Credland from Valkea Resources. Gentlemen, we're headed towards $5,000 gold. We have ourselves a heck of a market. Today's a big day for the Valkea team. Chris, I'd love to start out with you because you had some news that I think is being very well received across the board.
Yeah, we're definitely going on a good run here today. It certainly helps when gold's hitting an all-time high as well. But yeah, I founded this company and have been advancing it for the last couple of years, and have been talking with Thomas for since he was at Rupert, and managed to convince him to come over, and he's come on now as president. It's a huge coup for us. There's nobody who has had as much success and has the experience in Finland, specifically in the Lapland, than Thomas. I think you were the number two guy from Rupert, right there from the beginning when he was a smaller company than where we're at, and was able to grow that to well over $1 billion in his time. Then of course Rupert, it's been one of the most significant gold discoveries over the last decade. So good also to have somebody based in Europe for a European project. It has some challenges, in being from Vancouver here, and couldn't be more pleased to have him join. He's not only come on, he's put a significant amount of his own money in, which is all public now as well. So he's jumping in with both feet, and happy to get rolling. And just before we talk with Thomas, we also added two other people. One, Dr. Charlie Seabrook, that Thomas will talk about. She was largely responsible for the Akari discovery. Also added Mark Turcott. Mark was senior VP up at Mag Silver. And he's coming on the board and has done a deep dive when he was at MAG into Valkea and over 9 months with his whole technical team. And we were very close to doing a transaction with them before MAG got bought out by Pan American there. So, really happy to build out the team and strengthen it and to get moving in this market.
Well, Tom, I congratulated Chris. I have to congratulate you as well because I've seen what you can do with a much lower gold price in a much tougher market.
Yeah.
You're entering what is the market of all markets for the gold space. Congrats on your timing. And I am excited to hear your take on what motivated you to come this way, the Valkea Resources way.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I've been, thanks for having me. I think, when we took on the Finland properties at Rupert, I mean, gold was $1,200 gold. And again, I think Finland had been a bit out on a limb. And I think there'd been that period where you'd had Kittila discovered in the sort of, by the GTK in the sort of 80s and 90s. And then you'd had Anglo-American discover the big Sakatti project in 2009. And then there'd been this hiatus. And so we'd been into Finland, and there weren't the big corporates that are there now. And I think there was a lot of dogma there. There was sort of people saying, well, if you find a deposit, it's going to be low grade, it's going to be refractory. And the truth is that the Central Lapland Greenstone Belt is the same as every other orogenic gold destination. There's a lot of different types of deposit, and you have to use different ways to find them. But again, I think the similarities when I look at Valkea and Rupert in the early days is the sort of exploration maturity of the ground. There are no quick ways to explore in Finland. You've got 10 to 15 meters of glacial till over everything, so you have to be super systematic, super disciplined. You can't really use prospecting quite the same way that you can in West Africa or Eastern Goldfields or the Abitibi. So you have to be very systematic, very disciplined and organized. So I just see, with Rupert, we started really with one core property. Within Valkea, there are 5 at various different stages of development. So I think there's a good advanced target with Pana. But again, that looks very something, maybe similar to some of the Rupert ground in sort of 2019. So they had some initial success, but again, it's maybe taking a step back and looking at what they have, what we have. And again, Ikiri was the sixth new gold occurrence that we drilled. So you have to set your ceiling high. You need to have an ambitious goal in terms of the deposit you're trying to find. We were always targeting a $2 billion NSR kind of size kind of project, which is probably quite a small deposit now, but let's say 2 million ounces is kind of my hurdle. Ability to produce a 2,000 ounce a year, mine. So like a tier, at least a minimum of a tier 2 mine. But again, in Finland, you've got infrastructure, you've got other mines, so maybe your margins are always going to be good. So again, I think there's ways to do things, and I think Finland, again, remember in 2016 there was one gold mine really in, plus the parts of our mill, but obviously you now have the Ickery discovery as well. So you'll have 2 mills in the next kind of 5 to 10 years there. So some of those smaller discoveries may find a home somewhere else.
You're cashed up. I got to believe there's an urgency to deploy that capital given the backdrop with the market that we have right now, given your experience in Finland. And obviously you have a heck of an analog with Rupert. What comes next, guys?
Well, I think this is always the question. And I think, when you're going to drill, how many meters, all these kind of things. I think it's worth reminding everybody that, Ickery was discovered with single base of till reconnaissance rig and a diamond rig going very systematically through target. So there's a period where we'll need to kind of take a step back, do the sort of the desktop work, looking at the work that some of the very good work that's been done by S2 and Valkea up to this point, taking a step back so we can go faster, down the track, building this proprietary geological model. But again, we've both the Valkea team and the Rupert guys that I'm planning to bring in have worked with sort of smaller budgets and used to being very efficient with funds. And so again, as I say, we made six discoveries, or at least 6 discoveries with in Finland with basically one drill rig. But being very judicious and very disciplined. Each target gets 1,500 meters. Then you wait for results. You go to somewhere else, drill that, and then as things you build this inventory of targets, and the ones that get more drilling, and then the other ones you park and come back to it for another day. But that's the way to cover ground. There's such a big property position in Valkea. You just have to you need to cover ground, turn it over, move on to other things.
Listen, gentlemen, beautiful timing. Congrats to the both of you. Congrats to the team, and really excited for what comes next. Thank you for coming on, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, Gerardo.
Goodbye.
All right, cheers. Hey everybody, Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.